이번엔 필리핀 레전드 매니 파퀴아오 다큐멘터리 준비했습니다.
Pacquiao is a once-in-a-lifetime phenomenon. There's never been anybody like Manny Pacquiao before, and I doubt there ever will be again.
The MGM Grand in Las Vegas, 2009. Filipino Manny Pacquiao destroys Miguel Cotto and becomes the first man in history to win 7 world titles in 7 different boxing divisions. He would have imagined that this former runaway would one day emerge as the greatest fighter of his generation. Even Time magazine named him as one of the world's most influential people and called his story a myth equal to that of any Greek or Roman hero. That this former world leaders would one day emerge as the greatest, a congressman, and the symbol of hope for millions of Filipinos. And yet, behind the hype and glory, Manny Pacquiao has never forgotten his humble beginnings. Manny Pacquiao was born in 1978 as Emmanuel Dapidran Pacquiao, the second eldest of 4 children. He grew up in poverty in Kibawe, a small barrio in the southern Philippines.
Mahirap talaga yung buhay ko dahil mahirap lang kami, walang pambili ng pagkain sa araw-araw. At siyempre, nag-aaral pa kami, wala kami panggasto sa school. At ang ginawa ko, tinutulungan ko na lang yung mama ko.
His mother ran a small store, which they call a sari-sari store, and sold little things, candies, soft drinks to the neighbors, but that was not a real income.
To find more work, the Pacquiaos decided to move from their barrio into General Santos City, the tuna capital of the Philippines. The family's move proved to be a turning point for Manny, as local boxers trained in the area. Even as a kid, Manny showed an unusual passion for boxing.
Pati yung teacher nila, ang sabi, Mrs., anak mo palagi naglabas, malikot, suntok ng suntok sa hangin. Yung ko, ma'am, sorry, hapit na niya. Tama ng edad na 14, baka mag-boxer siya.
But Manny's mother, Dionysia, had very different plans for her son.
Gusto ko nga maging pare ang anak ko, pero sabi niya, wala tayong magawa, mang, wala tayong pira. Mahirap tayo, hindi. Ang taas namang pangarap mo, mang.
Things took a turn for the worse when Manny's father, Rosalio, left home for good. At the age of 13, Manny quit school to work in the streets. Soon after, he was formally introduced to the ring by an up-and-coming boxer, Abner Cordero, and his father, Dizon.
Abner Cordero was a very prominent, very fine boxer, and he looked up to him, and his father trained Pacquiao at the beginning.
Yung mga bata na noon, nagsusot ng guwan, tapos suntukan yun, yung nagsusot ng gloves. Tapos nagtanong sa akin na, saan yung may ano ka ba doon? Ano, pansimbag? Oo, sa bahay may simbag doon. Pagka kinabukasan, pumunta ka agad sa bahay namin.
Manny began an early habit of fighting by helping his younger brother, Bobby.
Nung nag-aral kami, sa halos last time may kalaban ako. Ngayon, sa tingin hindi ko kaya, kaya nagpatulong ako sa kanya. Tinawag ko siya, mamaya pag-uwian, samahan mo ako kasi may kalaban nga ako, ganun. Doon, nagpatulong ako sa kanya. Tuntukan talaga yun.
If you look at the lives of the different Filipino world boxing champions, they came from humble beginnings. They wanted to make boxing a springboard for a better life.
Yun ang yun ang paniniwala ko na sa boxing na natutulungan ko yung pamilya ko at simula nun tuloy-tuloy na at nagkaroon ako ng idea sa pagiging boksingero hanggang lumawak na yung kaalaman ko about boxing. Then nangarap ako na maging makilala sa larangan ng boxing
And then there's Sundays, they used to have a boxing show for amateurs, and Manny would go to that gym 2-3 hours before the fights began just to make sure he would fight.
Soon, D-Zone entered Manny in a series of amateur tournaments and exhibition matches. Things were looking up.
His first amateur bout, and he was matched against a much superior opponent. Abner Cordero's father was stunned because Manny knocked him out. And it's hard to knock out an amateur fighter when you're a little kid. That was the beginning of the story of Manny Pacquiao.
In spite of his immense boxing potential, it was still a far cry from the millions of dollars he would one day earn.
Kasi nung lumalaban ako ng boxing, kumikita ako ng 100 pesos every fight. Yun lang. Siyempre, ang kilo ng bigas nun, 3 pesos pa lang. May 4 pesos ang kilo. So, malaking bagay yung 100 pesos na kita mo sa boxing.
Ano, malaki ba dyan ang kitang boxing? Sabi niya, siyempre ngayon, maliit pa. Pag mo champion ako, mang, baging milyonaryo naman ako. Himinto ka na nga. Anong magawa niyo dyan? Sabi niya, mang, sorry. Tulungan naman mo ako, mang. Suportahan mo ako. Kahit sa pagdasal lang.
Just when things were looking bleak, Manny met a talent scout who was looking for promising local boxers to fight in Manila. Manny Pacquiao was one of them. Leaving nothing more than a letter behind, 14-year-old Manny headed for the bright lights of Manila to pursue his dreams of becoming a professional fighter who could support his family.
He and about 9 other fighters from the Mindanao area were taken in a slow boat from General Santos to Manila.
Hindi niya gusto ipaalam kay Mama kasi si Mama talagang ayaw niya kami mapalayo. Katulad ng pamuntang Maynila. Nung na siya, tumawag na lang siya or nagsulat, ganon.
Despite an uncertain future, Manny had nothing to lose. He would now have to make it in the city of Manila alone. The big city of Manila beckoned to Manny Pacquiao, then an unknown fighter from the provinces of the southern Philippines. Here, his dedication and passion would be put to the ultimate test. Without a single cent in his pocket, Manny had to live in the L&M gym downtown.
He actually slept inside the ring, the same ring where fighters would spar, where fighters would leave their sweat and blood, and Manny would sleep inside his ring because he had nowhere else to go. He had no blankets, he had no pillows, but that was where he slept.
It was a crummy little place in a little back street in Manila, in a sort of a godforsaken area. But that was the kind of surrounding that brought the best out of him. You know, filth, grime, dirt, blood, sweat, and tears at times.
When Manny eventually became a world champion, he never forgot his humble beginnings.
He bought the L&M gym several years later, and he has now built dormitories for fighters because he felt that when he was training in that gym, there were no facilities for fighters to sleep in. And many of these fighters were coming from all over the Philippines to train in this very fabled gym.
Kala ko mag-boxing kami nun. Pinatrabaho kami nun, kaya doon kami nagkahiwalay. 7 buwan, wala kaming laban doon.
Nagpadala siya, palagi siya magsulat. Sabi niya, mang, sorry. Hindi pa ako nakapadala ng pera sa iyo kasi wala pa ako mag-regular boxer dito. Nagtrabaho ako, ko ng kalawang sa mga bakal daw. Kiskit na kalawang.
A window of opportunity opened for Manny Pacquiao when he caught the eyes of the gym's owner, Rod Nazario, and the producers of the national boxing show called Blow by Blow. It was the show that would make Manny a star. On the 22nd of January 1995, Manny Pacquiao finally made his professional boxing debut on television. He was only 16.
Sabi niya, Ma'am, manood kayo sa Blue by Blue. Punta ka na sa Alulin doon sa sa studio. Yung lahat ng mga tao sa likod, sabi niya, sino ba tong babae? Sumigaw, sumigaw, palagi sigaw. Hala, mira anak, lakasan mo. Kaliwa kanan anak. Sabi niya, huwag kayo mag-alala pag makita mo ako natamaan, hindi masakit.
Even as a new fighter, Manny began to catch the attention of boxing fans.
Well, Manny Pacquiao, when he was 15, 16 years old, starting his professional boxing career, was already very charismatic. The thing that made Manny such a popular figure in the ring was his exciting style. He was very explosive. He brought a lot of fireworks in the ring. his charisma was just overpowering. Every time Manny stepped inside that ring, the fans could expect a wonderful victory or a glorious defeat, either way.
I never thought he was going to be a world champion when I saw him on blow by blow. But he had two things going for him. One, his courage was indomitable. The other was his power. But his style was terrible. He just threw punches. He just came at you, and he didn't have the finesse that was necessary to become a world champion. He went after his opponents from the opening bell, non-stop. That's why the fans liked him. Not because he was a great boxer, but because he was a fighter.
For the first time in his life, Manny was earning real money, enough to keep his family back home going. He had arrived.
Sabi niya, Mang, maliit pang premyo ko kasi hindi pa tayo champion. Kunti lang to. Sige, okay lang, basta makapaaral kayo sa kapatid niyo.
Nonetheless, Manny's early career had its share of setbacks.
All this adulation that he got as a young fighter must have gotten to his head, because in one of his early fights, he went up against a fighter, a journeyman named Rustico Torrecampo. Manny was not prepared to take that fight. He weighed in, he was over the limit. He was penalized for it. He had to wear big ounce gloves.
The heavier gloves handicapped Manny's punching power, and he was knocked out for the first time.
He was getting a little cocky at that time because everybody was adoring him, so he took chances, got one good blow, and he was out.
It's over. Cannot get up on time. It's over.
Losing to Torrecampo had a profound impact on Manny, who was now forced to face reality.
Sabi niya, ma-experience lang to. Hindi man lahat nga panalo ang tanggapin natin. May talo, may panalo. Sabi niya.
But he will learn from this. He will learn from this.
He told Rod Nazario, who was his business manager at that time, I want you to get me the toughest Filipino in this weight division in a 10-round fight. And Rod Nazario said, you just got knocked out. You want the toughest guy next? And he said, yes. And he fought the toughest guy at that time and beat him. That was the first indication to me that this guy had something in him that we were all looking for.
After 3 years as a pro and with 23 wins under his belt, Manny got his first title shot in Thailand against the WBC flyweight champion Chachai Sasakul.
I covered that fight at ringside. This fight was held in a makeshift arena near a public market. Manny was clearly the underdog.
For 7 rounds, the more experienced Thai champion gave Manny a boxing lesson.
Pacquiao thought that the only way that he could reverse the tide was to knock out his opponent. He started to attack Chachai Sasakul's body, and slowly Sasakul's guard went down, but opening up his face. Manny Pacquiao exploded. Sasakul went down like a sack of potatoes, and he was counted out. Sasakul was crying because he wanted to get up, but his legs wouldn't allow it. Manny Pacquiao became the new WBC flyweight champion.
The people of the Philippines celebrated. They now had a new champion, Manny Pacquiao. Little did Manny realize that it was just a sign of greater things to come.
Masaya ako at natupad yung pangarap ko na mag-champion, makakuha ng belt sa boxing. After that, nangarap ulit ako na maging makilala hindi lang sa Pilipinas, kundi sa ibang lugar.
1998 was a big year for Manny for another reason as well. After just 7 months of courtship, he married Geraldine Jinky Hamora. He was 19 and she was only 18. And by 2008, they had 4 kids, Jimwell, Michael, Princess, and Queenie. In 1999, unexpected disaster struck as Manny prepared to defend his flyweight crown against Thailand's Medgoan Singsarat. As a teenager, Manny was so undernourished that he had to stuff coins into his shoes just to make the fighting weight. But now he had a new problem.
His body had developed so much that he no longer could hold his weight down to 112 pounds, which is the limit for the flyweight division. So he was stripped of the championship on the scales when he couldn't make the weight. But he went through with the fight because he wouldn't be able to get his purse if he didn't step into the ring.
In attempting to make the weight, Manny was dehydrated. The undefeated Medguin knocked a listless Pacquiao out in just 3 rounds.